Good morning, Lana.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everyone. It is Sunday, November 14th. It is 49 degrees here in beautiful San Jose. And just looks like it's going to be another nice day, although it's going to start out foggy. I went outside yesterday morning because I had to take a drive about 20 miles away, and it was as foggy as I've seen it in several years.
Trying to think. 39 degrees here today. It's going up.
Woohoo! Up 3 degrees. We're down 1 degree. So God has got his plan.
Yes.
All right. Let's take a look and see what birthdays we have today. I know for sure we've got a few, and it's a couple of people. For me, it's a couple of people that I knew from high school, and one who's been a friend and a client of mine for the last 11 years, 12 years. How about yourself? You have any birthdays there, Lana?
I can't think of any right now. I was looking on Facebook. Sometimes they'll pop up.
Yeah.
And
that's where I'm finding these. And I should actually go back through my list of people and take a look. But I'm looking, most everyone I know is somebody from Facebook that has joined Facebook over the years. So they show up most of the time, except for those people that don't want to show their birthdays for whatever reason.
I know a lot of people don't. They don't want anyone to know how old they are.
Yeah.
So exactly. The only way you get that is when they die.
Yeah.
Which is sad. And some of them don't even put it on then.
No, we're not letting you know the year we were born.
Mm-mm.
So a couple of birthday shout outs. Vicki Likes was a young lady that I met when I think I was in 8th grade, and just a terrific girl. So Vicki, happy birthday to you. And then Wayne Medeiros is somebody that I met when I was in 7th grade. And he's just, draws, I can't remember what they call him, but he does comic book characters, but I don't know if that's the term that they use, but he is unreal. He can
really draw.
Oh, he is
an artist.
Oh, he's fantastic. He is fantastic. He gets in trouble with a lot of our friends being outspoken as far as talking about politics, but
creative people are that way. They're either one way or the other. They're either, if they're on your side, they sound great and brilliant, and when they're not really on the same level that you're thinking, they seem kind of way out. But creative people have creative minds, and they think a little bit outside the box. Which is
absolutely.
Good. It's good.
There's no way that I could imagine the characters that he draws. It's just phenomenal. So Wayne, happy birthday to you, brother. And I think you're brilliant, by the way. I just want you to know that. And then Nicole Marie King. Now, I met Nicole 12, 13 years ago now. Helped them buy her first house with her husband. Right, probably a year after they were married. They were struggling along, but they said it's a good time to buy. They bought their home. They made $500,000 on it when they sold their home a few years back, 2 or 3 years back, after holding on to it for 10 years. Just like I'd told them to hold on to their home, and we would see where it was at. Get your starter home and let's see where it goes. How often do you make $500,000 in 10 years? And then without really doing too much to their home, they made that kind of money. And then they went out and bought a really nice place in a much nicer school district. And they're doing well there because it is this real estate market is went a bit crazy. But they
all over the United States, it hasn't slowed down anywhere,
So these kids have done very well, and I am grateful for them. And I've helped several members of their family. It's probably the family that I've done the most transactions with, and they are just terrific people. But Nicole, I was able to watch her and her husband have their two sons, and now they're now they're just growing up. So we're grateful for them. Nicole's like the same age as my daughter, and works with some of her friends, and just a terrific person. So everyone, Vicky, Wayne, Nicole, have a wonderful birthday and God bless you.
And it's a Sunday. It's a great day to have a birthday.
It's a great day to have a birthday, especially if you're a librarian.
Yeah,
They're closed.
completely closed.
My friends Curtis Brown, Rex Smith, Danny Magagliano, Red Burkheimer, Shelley Elliott, Nancy, Kurt Brand, Ashley Van Winkle, Jeff Rainey, our good friend Keith Landris, Eric B. Flournoy, Joe and Joseph. Grateful for you and grateful for your story. And then, Lana, why don't you pick up these folks?
Okay, we've got Larry Lichty and Carney, his ministry, and God bless you today, Larry, as you go forth in God's work. Larry and I share a birthday, and I forgot to mention him, I think. Oh, Larry.
Happy belated birthday, Larry.
Very belated, but happy, right?
Absolutely.
And Kim Brandenbaugh, Holland Grubaugh, and her husband. We just keep praying for you. We know that God is working things out in your lives and that He's doing a healing for your husband. And we want to thank Him for His service. And we know things are going to get lots better there. Ted Legal, I forget his circumstances for sure, but didn't he have some surgeries?
He is, and he's going to have another one. He's got to build himself up so that he's ready for his next surgery.
So we're just praying for you that God will continuously have His hand on you so that you can get stronger each and every day, and we're praising God for that. Janice Lichtenwalder, and I have the reassurance that Janice is resting in peace, and for that I praise God. Her husband Wayne and her sons Matt, Mark, and Michael, may God continuously give you peace. And I know that during these times, they're hard times, but I know God is leading you through that, and things will be well. Jerry Porter and his family, praying for all of them. Jerry, I really believe he's probably stirring up a lot of stuff where he's at in heaven. He's probably letting them know a lot of why they were gone before him. He was a very good friend of the kids' father, who's been gone for almost 33 years. Let's see, probably a little more than that. He was very young. He was 39 when he passed away.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I'm sure that Jerry Lee Porter is telling him, "Hey, Fergie, you left us at bad times." He's probably like that. His family, may God give them all peace. And a special friend of mine, Joyce, who was Jerry's wife, may God put His arms around her and give her joy and peace. And she's a beautiful woman too. First Lady of Florida, Casey DeSantis. These are real heavy times politically for everyone. And then you have this, and we're not going to let you fight this alone. We know that God is fighting with you. And I'll tell you, He's the one that when He's on our side, we always win. So we're thanking God for His healing for you and your battles there.
Amen.
And I can't think of anyone else. Can you at this time other than Charles?
No,
we're holding him up, and we're just praying for all good things for Charles. And we know that day by day, God is making him stronger, filling him with joy. He's got a lot of joy, and we're thanking God for that. He's keeping His hands on him, and his humor is coming back, I've noticed. So
Humor. Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
there is some of us need a lot of that to get through our days.
Well,
No,
mine came naturally from my mom, so I'm grateful for that.
I don't know where I get all my traits, but some of them are not good sometimes. When I look in the mirror, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, Lana.
Well, I know all my good ones came from my mom, so I'm grateful for that.
That's good.
Anything good about me came from my mom, so I am overjoyed at that. Let's take a look. We got Book of Proverbs, chapter 14, 1 through 35, Isaiah 42, 1 through 25. And let's take a quick look and see who we got here with us today. Frank Nell, good morning. Charles and Lana, glorious and happy Sunday. Frank Nell, good evening to you. I hope that you have had a wonderful day. I hope that we both hope that you have had a wonderful day.
Yes.
And then here is Frank Nell's daughter, Mary.
Mary.
Good morning and have a blessed Sunday, everyone. Mary, good evening to you and God bless you. Straight from the Philippines, and we are grateful that you are here with us. And then Nancy Medina, Tibio Malunda, good morning, Charles and Lana. Blessed Sunday, everyone. Nancy, good evening to you. We certainly wish that for you as your evening comes.
Yes.
And then shared and done, Frank Nell, thank you. And good morning, all. Blessings and be safe. All right. Thank you both so much. And we're going to go ahead and kick it off then. And Book of Proverbs, chapter 14. Lana's going to start us off.
The wise woman builds her house, but with her own hands the foolish one tears hers down. He whose walk is upright fears the Lord, but he whose ways are devious despises him. A fool's talk brings a rod to his back, but the lips of the wise protect them. Where there are no oxen, the manger is empty. But the strength of an ox comes, but from the strength of an ox comes an abundant harvest. A truthful witness does not deceive, but a false witness pours out lies. The mocker seeks wisdom and finds none, but knowledge comes easily to the discerning. Stay away from a foolish man, for you will not find knowledge on his lips. The wisdom of the prudent is to give thought to their ways, but the folly of fools is deception. Fools mock at making amends for sin, but goodwill is found among the upright. Each heart knows its own bitterness, and no one else can share its joy. The heart of the wicked will be destroyed, but the tent of the upright will flourish. There is a way that seems right to a man, but in the end it leads to death. Even in laughter the heart may ache, and joy may end in grief. The faithless will be fully repaid for their ways, and the good man rewarded for his. A simple man believes anything, but a prudent man gives thought to his steps. A wise man fears the Lord and shuns evil, but a fool is hot-headed and reckless. A quick-tempered man does foolish things, and a crafty man is hated. The simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge.
The evil will bow down before good, and the wicked at the gates of the righteous. The poor is hated even by his neighbor, but those who love the rich are many. He who despises his neighbor sins, but happy is he who is gracious to the poor. Will they not go astray who devise evil? But kindness and truth will be to those who devise good. In all labor there is profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. The crown of the wise is their riches, but the folly of fools is foolishness. A truthful witness saves lives, but he who utters lies is treacherous. In the fear of the Lord, there is a strong confidence, and his children will have refuge. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, that one may avoid the snares of death. In a multitude of people, in a king's glory. In a multitude of people is a king's glory, but in the dearth of people is a prince's ruin. He who is slow to anger has great understanding, but he who is quick tempered exalts folly. A tranquil heart is life to the body, but passion is rottenness to the bones. He who opposes the poor taunts his maker, but he who is gracious to the needy honors him. The wicked is thrust down by wrongdoing, but the righteous has a refuge when he dies. Wisdom rests in the heart of one who has understanding, but in the hearts of fools it is made known. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a disgrace to any people. The king's favor is toward a servant who acts wisely, but his anger is toward him who acts shamefully. That is Proverbs 14. What do you got there, Lana?
Well, there's a lot in this. There is a lot. It's, as I said before we started, I think they really had a good day this day when they wrote Proverbs 14. There's just so much. It talks about the heart a lot. You know, each heart knows its own bitterness, and no one else can share its joy. That's a hard one to understand.
Yep.
That's
It
very.
is. It is.
The simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. But the one that really gets me, and I'm trying to hear, the poor are shunned even by their neighbors, but the rich have many friends.
Well,
That's
think about it.
true, because generally rich people, most, there are many good rich people. Let's don't forget that. But many people are drawn to them simply because of their money. They don't see deep enough to know there's a real person there that may just be a beautiful, beautiful person. So I don't know if that's a warning to the rich or a put down to the poor. I'm not sure which
Well,
one that is.
it wouldn't be putting down the poor. It's just the fact that more people are drawn to the wealthy than they are towards the poor. That's why we read that there are many out there who are in need, but we just don't have enough people to serve them.
Well, and we don't know. I think it would be hard to distinguish. You'd have to be a very giving person to just trust everyone. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I do.
People will use rich people. I mean, they're drawn to people with money because they really feel that that's a step up for them. I mean, it has a whole lot to do with a person's perspective, I
I
guess.
will never have that problem.
I won't either. They will never be coming to me because of my beauty or my riches. So,
Oh, come now. Come
but
now.
it's a sad thing because a lot of people stay in the environment they're in because they don't like rich people. I mean, there's a lot of people that think having riches is just not good, to the point that they'll go into poverty. It's hard to explain.
Well,
Well, look at that person. Look at the car they're driving. Well, no wonder they have this. I mean, have you ever heard that? I have.
oh yeah. Yeah,
And
absolutely. Now, as far as the rich, we know that we are um, one of the countries, especially our rich here, for the most part, they are willing to give
oh,
and
they do.
serve throughout the world.
They do.
And we have to understand it. Now, there are some that may still have their first penny, but those are few and far between. I think for the most part, our nation is built to givers, and I believe that the wealthiest among us, for the most part, are cheerful givers. They'll go out and most of them realize, hey, I have been blessed in many ways, and I can bless others. And
And there are poor people that give too.
oh, there's no doubt.
They give that widow's mite. They're giving in other ways, of their services and their time and that really their wealth isn't in dollars, it's in other things.
Yep.
Their goodness, the way they nurture people, and things like that. But that is one verse that really struck me as one that needed to be looked at a little bit.
Yep. Well, one that hit me, and I'm going to take a look at 14:10, and I just want to read something. Answers to questions. When you find yourself the target of a bitter accusation or a hateful person attack, pray for God's protection. Ask Him to give you wisdom in dealing with the other person, as well as a healthy perspective on the entire matter. Your reaction to the assault is the most important issue with God. Therefore, be firm but loving in what you do or say. And I just want to read a little bit more in a paragraph that came before that. Bitterness is a much deeper and more complex reaction than a simple expression of quick anger. It is a satanic stronghold and needs to be faced in an honest manner. God tells us to beware that no root of bitterness springing up causes trouble, and by it may be defiled. So we've got to, he's cautioning us against bitterness in our own hearts, but he's also letting us know about the bitterness that some feel towards us at times. And we have to learn how to deal with that in the proper perspective. What is it that I have done to injure this other person? What is it that the person has done to injure me? Can I forgive them? Go to God for His help.
There's times when we don't understand why someone else might think that we were offensive toward them.
Yeah.
And it's hard to understand those times. It's hard, and all you can do is sometimes you wonder, should I try and influence that person to know that I really am not a hard, cruel person, or are we to just stay away?
Yep. We've got to ask that question, and we have to do the proper things. Now, for me, I had some bitterness in my heart as a youngster. Very little since I've been an older fellow, and there's times that I know that things have happened in the past where I was bitter about them, and I just have to realize it's in the past. Put it aside. Don't ever let it waste another moment of your time.
Right. That's right.
And if I'm bitter, that's on me.
Yeah.
Period.
Charles, you're breaking up on my screen. Am I breaking up on yours?
Am I breaking up?
Yes.
Okay, I don't see it, but I do see that there is a less than strong signal from here.
Okay.
And you're not breaking up at all. So it's just got to be me.
Well, we can hear you loud and clear, so we're not in trouble.
Well, I'm a podcaster then. Hello, everyone. All right, let's go ahead and turn over to chapter 41 of Isaiah. Is that right? Chapter 41? No, chapter 42 of Isaiah.
Right.
Chapter 42 of Isaiah, and Lana is going to kick us off.
All right. The servant of the Lord. Here is my servant whom I uphold, my chosen one in whom I delight. I will put my spirit on him, and he will bring justice to the nations. He will not shout or cry out or raise his voice in the streets. A bruised reed he will not break, and a smoldering wick he will not snuff out. In faithfulness he will bring forth justice. He will not falter or be discouraged till he establishes justice on earth. In his law the islands will put their hope. This is what God the Lord says. He who created the heavens and stretched them out, who spread out the earth and all that comes out of it, who gives breath to its people and life to those who walk on it. I, the Lord, have called you in righteousness. I will take hold of your hand. I will keep you and will make you a covenant for the people and a light for the Gentiles, to open eyes that are blind, to free captives from prison, and to release from the dungeon those who sit in darkness. I am the Lord. That is my name. I will not give my glory to another, or my praise to idols. See, the former things have taken place, and new things I declare. Before they spring into being, I announce them to you. Songs of praise to the Lord. Sing to the Lord a new song, his praise from the ends of the earth. You who go down to the sea and all that is in it, you islands and all who live in them. Let the desert and its towns raise their voices. Let the settlements where Kedar lives rejoice. Let the people of Selah sing for joy. Let them shout from the mountaintops. Let them give glory to the Lord and proclaim his praise in the islands. The Lord will march out like a mighty man, like a warrior. He will stir up his zeal. With a shout, he will raise the battle cry and will triumph over his enemies. For a long time I have kept silent. I have been quiet and held myself back. But now, like a woman in childbirth, I cry out. I gasp and pant. I will lay waste the mountains and the hills and dry up their vegetation. I will turn rivers into islands and dry up the pools. I will lead the blind by ways they have not known. Along unfamiliar paths I will guide them. I will turn the darkness into light before them and make the rough places smooth. These are the things I will do. I will not forsake them. But those who trust in idols, who say to the images, you are God, you are our gods, will be turned back into utter shame. Israel, blind and deaf. Hear, you deaf, look, you blind, and see. Who is blind but my servant, and deaf like the messenger I send? Who is blind like the one committed to me, blind like the servant of the Lord? You have seen many things, but have paid no attention. Your ears are open, but you hear nothing. It pleased the Lord for the sake of righteousness to make his law great and glorious. But this is a people plundered and looted, all of them trapped in pits or hidden away in prisons. I think I've read too far, Charles.
Keep on going. We're almost there.
They have become plunder with no one to rescue them. They have been made loot with no one to say, send them back. Which of you will listen to this or pay close attention in time to come? Who handed Jacob over to become loot and Israel to the plunderers? Was it not the Lord against whom we have sinned? For they would not follow his ways, they did not obey his law. So he poured out on them his burning anger, the violence of war. It enveloped them in flames, yet they did not understand. It consumed them, but they did not take it to heart. I think when we divided this up, I wrote down the number of scriptures.
No problem.
Wrote it down wrong, Charles. I didn't mean
Nope.
to gobble up all those verses.
No problem. No problem.
I just wrote down 1 through 25.
1 through 25. Well, you got it.
Well, there we are. Boy, that's very interesting, though. Isn't this an interesting chapter in Isaiah?
Yes, it is. And I want to take a look at the 42:3 and give a couple of the life lessons from there. 42:3, a bruised reed he will not break, and a dimly burning wick he will not extinguish. God lifts up those who are broken in spirit. When our hearts are turned toward him, he will not crush us. We may experience trials, but we will not experience spiritual defeat. He treats the person who is bruised and weakened with great tenderness.
Wow.
And that is the example for each one of us.
That
Keep thinking about people that get kicked when they're down. God doesn't do that to us.
Mm-mm.
God does not do that to us. He treats us, as this says, with tenderness. And we have to do that for one another.
People
and
get
sometimes
mad
we forget about it.
hard, and it doesn't do anyone any good when people continuously beat them down or correct them or just are on them all the time, because it mentions Joseph. That as a Bible story, it's very simple. His brothers didn't like him. In fact, they hated him.
They were jealous completely of him.
Yes. I mean, they really hated him. And his father, of course, he was his father's favorite. His father favored him.
Father loved him dearly.
Yeah.
But Joseph took it and said,
a coat of many colors,
Yeah.
And
Joseph took it and said, what you have meant for evil, God has meant for good.
And I kind of think God knew that story's end before it started. I just get that feeling that he knew what these other kids were going to do, what they had in their hearts. He knew the plans he had for Joseph. And God took something that wasn't really good and he made it into something beautiful.
Absolutely.
So I think that's something we always have to remember. What others mean for harm, God will turn around and make it something that's really good.
Absolutely.
No one here can really, they can bruise us, but they can't beat us.
And that's what we got to know.
Yeah, we got to know that.
We got to know it, that God has set up good things within all of us. Within all of us. And I mean, sometimes there have been times in my life when I failed absolutely huge.
Me too.
But God turned them around. God put, hey, you will be smarter the next time that you deal with this. And
incidences in our lives when we really feel that we've been knocked around, and sometimes it takes other people to put us in the right spot. I've had that happen.
Yep.
And then we find out the blessings that can come from that, and the purpose that God has for our lives. It's interesting how God works.
Now, I had when I was a young person, let's say from 1 to 11, we were very poor, extremely poor, and we had people in our neighborhood that helped us. And God took that as, oh, we got these gifts and we were grateful for them. We were so happy that we got some of these things, but he turned it in my heart to keep remembering those people uh, through this time. There is only one neighbor that lives there, and he has been in that same house. Him and his wife have been in that same house for over 60 years and
Wow.
raised their children there. But I go back normally on an annual basis to just go and say, I remember what you did, not only for me, which I really appreciated, for our whole family, but you did it for a lot of our neighbors here. And just trying to make sure that, and this is the way he raised his children, that this is what you need to do. And I just let him know you changed. And at that point, I was kind of a bitter young man, a boy, but eternally grateful for how God used Mr. Jim Swank and his family. And the Browns were part of that. Curtis Brown, who I mentioned, he was part of that. His family needed help at times, but then they were also on that helping end, giving out too. When we had nothing, those folks there were out there giving out. So
Isn't that a beautiful, beautiful thing?
yep, and that's the memory that I get, that I choose to hold on to um, from sometimes what was a very difficult life. There were some families that really, really pitched in from our neighborhood, and I'm
You know,
grateful.
it's something that, I can identify with. Your mom probably struggled a lot more than what anyone else would ever know. I've been in those shoes, and your heart is broken. You're bruised. You're bruised, and God will take that and create a lot of beauty in our children. There. I hear a lot about that single parent. I hear a lot about it, and sometimes it infuriates me. I just want to go, oh my goodness. Not everyone chooses to be a single parent, even for a short period of time.
Correct,
It's not
correct,
a choice you always get to make. And, I think about what God did with the widow, and he sent the prophet to be with her and to help her. And God knows the hearts, and we really need to, what is it? Be gracious and be thankful. What is it, Tom? The word Tom uses all the time.
be full of grace. I'm not sure.
Sorry, Tom, forgot that word. I think
Oh,
it's
oh,
grateful. Isn't it grateful?
yes, he is
Be
always saying
grateful.
be grateful.
Be grateful.
Live your
Yep.
life that way.
For
Well, I am going to finish this up here and just read John 3:16 and 3:17.
oh,
For
good.
God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. And this is one verse that we don't read often enough.
No,
For God did not send the son into the world to judge the world, but the world might be saved through him. And I think that we hear John 3:16 all the time, but 3:17 is just as important.
and it's beautiful.
Absolutely. And that's what I'd wish everyone to take away from them today.
Absolutely.
Remember these two verses, help you get through life, help you get through those difficult and dark times, and help somebody else. I want to thank everyone that's checked in with us today. If you're watching on a rebroadcast, just let us know hashtag replay. And we would certainly love to see you and love to hear from each one of you. Have a great Sunday. And we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow morning as we continue our walk through the Bible. Have a wonderful day. God bless.
God bless you all.